You know, ever since Tommy showed that you can have an evil character be as popular as the regular heroes, it feels like Power Rangers and others have been trying to recapture that to varying levels of success. I think on the higher end is the Shadow Borg. And here is his transformation device. Actually, it's Black Beat, and this is the 30th anniversary Black Commander. Here's the box. God, I love Shadow Borg's design. Don't even realize, I forget that he has yellow eyes inside what I think are his eyes. Anniversary. Scan the QR code for instructions. And on the back, which side actually is the front? Another picture of the Shadow Borg. Now, the Shadow Borg in Beetleborgs was nobody. Really, like, he was made by the villains to counteract the Beetleborgs, and he had the ability to take away their powers, like, temporarily, like, to the point where they had to actually create a new Beetleborg who wasn't in B-Fighter, the White Blaster Beetleborg, to try to counteract the Shadow Borg until they were able to destroy Shadow Borg, and White Blaster's powers just were gone. They were only connected to the Shadow Borg, so when he was gone, they were gone. He didn't actually transform in Beetleborgs, not at all. He didn't have a human character to revert back to. He never transformed. But in B-Fighter, he did. And B-Fighter's story is slightly different because he is a clone of Blue Beat. Well, outside of the show, they're played by twins. And I believe Blackbeat they probably put like they pitched down his voice to make it, you know, a bit of a mystery who he was. But in the show, he was a clone who fought like the B fighters. I don't know. Imagine he probably was defeated, either killed off or just lost his powers, because frickin' Shadowborg had one of the lamest endings. He got like absorbed into one of the sort of final boss of the season, and he was just like a piece of him. And then when that final boss was defeated, he's gone. He's dead. It's like, that's such a lame ending. You couldn't even like do or figure out something to do with him afterwards. They did. He ended up in the Machine Empire in the Red Ranger, like the anniversary episode where all the Red Rangers teamed up. He was part of he was leading the Machine Empire along with many other suits from Metallics. Like some of the characters, like the additional characters, and I believe Green Hunter was one of the suits they used for the Machine Empire. So we never got a proper Beetleborgs Power Rangers crossover in the show. They did it in comic form that were around at the time, but we sort of got a crossover where they're just part of the Machine Empire and just destroyed. But we do have a toy to talk about. This is the Black Commander. And here is a size comparison with my previous video, or my previous review probably. The Beat Commander. And yeah, it's just kind of a dark version of that. The silver has been replaced with gunmetal gray. The chrome red has been replaced by sort of like a flat gold. And he's got these weird symbols on his temples. I don't know what language they are. They could be an in-universe language. I have no idea. If you didn't watch this video, feel free to go back and watch. You also get a stand to stand it in, and to open it in the back, there's a little button, press down, that opens the cover. You get 3 AAAs and an on-off switch. Cover that back up, and instead of having a voice clip tell you something when you don't have something plugged in up here, instead it just beeps at you. We do have an attachment because Black Beat / Shadowborg is based off a long-horned beetle. So he gets these long horns. And you might be wondering, is this compatible with the Beat Commander and the other way around? Yes and no. So they've made it different by adding that little nub right there and that engravement. Sure, I'll go with that right there, which fit into those right there. It also only has one button right there to activate the sounds. If you try to use one of the others, it technically fits. It's not straight on it. It has to be curved back a bit because it doesn't line up with the new markings. So you technically can use these ones. However, you cannot use the Longhorn, although it would push in one of them, which is the G-Stag one. Not only does it not slide, it doesn't go in an angle either because of that right there. So, oh no, it would push down the other one because the hole is to not push it down, so it would push down the blue beat, which makes sense. So we'll attach, and his transformation instead of Jyukou is Jyukou, which is like dark shell or like evil insect shell. But if you press it down, if you press it without holding, Jyukou, you'll get a much shorter transformation. I appreciate how short it is. But she didn't appreciate how short it is. And you can see they've even inverted the colors on the circuit board inside. This one being red with yellow wiring, and this one being yellow with red wiring. Red with yellow, yellow with red. Yeah. And the buttons are, or not button, but the little, sure, button in the middle is now black instead of gray. You also get a slightly different transformation if you press and hold the button. You actually get the actor for Black Beat. But first we must show the little figure that goes inside. And it wasn't really until I was looking at these that I really noticed how Black Beat is actually intended to look like a corrupted and dark Blue Beat. So you see this one, just clear plastic, and then the one with all the paint. So if you can't really tell, there are certain things like the chest piece is exactly the same shape, only on Black Beat it's been like basically ripped away to expose the inside. Their belt is exactly the same. Their styling on the pants or the legs is the same, just with the color placement differently. And like Blue Beat's shoulders kind of round down, while Black Beat's spike upwards. So like I believe they also have the same sort of insect shape. It's hard to see on the black plastic. The camera wants to do funny things. Almost the same. But yeah, you can even just look at these two designs without knowing the story and probably realize quickly that there is some connection there between the two of them. Also, I noticed he has his stinger weapon on permanently. He doesn't get to summon it like the others. So, let's plug him in and transform again. So this time you press the button and hold it down. I do like that the light switches from white to yellow. And I think he has two different voice stings for this. See if you can tell the difference. Yeah, I think they're slightly different. Now we have a set of voice clips from Black Beat. So if you press the top button there. Yeah, they definitely pitched his voice down to keep the mystery up. But I believe he was talking about sending the bee fighters to hell. Because of course. Probably something like this time I'll stop you. I've been waiting for you. I won't lose, I will attain eternal life, I think. And then it restarts. Something like eternal life is in my hands. I won't lose. But if you press the background music button, you get probably one of the best 90s insert songs I've ever heard. I've never left it on for this long. I don't know how long it goes. Rockin' solo. It doesn't stop. This song is longer than most theme songs. Yeah, Black Beat. Now we won't listen to it again. And we have two other modes to get into. We have the Tanjo mode, which is just some sounds. I don't know what these sounds are. If I had to guess with Tanjo mode, it's probably like the things happening in the room while the villain is creating Black Beat sort of thing. I think that's probably the idea. And while you're switched modes, you don't get the held down extra. And honestly, I can't remember what sound was the starting one. That's the least cool mode this thing has. Because we also have one other one. Versus Blue Beat mode, where they basically have a conversation with each other. Like they're talking back and forth. Duo, fight me. I already told you. Interesting. But you won't beat me. Something like that.
奴の痛みがこの俺に。誰だ？お前は一体誰なんだ？お前は誰だ？
Questioning who he is. Like Bluebeard questioning who Blackbeard is.
Jyukou!
Jyukou! He told me to do it.
Jyukou!
Okay.
Jyukou! 甲斐拓也、今日こそ地球が壊滅するその前に決着をつけてやる。ジャコウ、ジュコウ、行くぞ。そうか、そうだったのか。お前は俺のクローン。
Yeah, when he realizes Blackbeard's a clone, and then they drop the voice pitching. Shut up, you.
Takuya, Jamal が街で大暴れしておる。すぐに急行してくれ。タクヤ、何やってんだ。ジャマールが街で暴れてるぞ。
その通りだ。俺はあのカミキリムシが採取した貴様の遺伝子から作られた貴様のクローンとして、コピーとして、俺は貴様を倒す。貴様を倒せば俺は影から光、唯一絶対の存在になれるんだ。俺が俺になれるんだ。ジャコウ、やめろ。もうこれ以上。
Stop, it's already over.
黙れ。
Shut up.
貴様が俺だったらやめるか。宿命の戦いを。ジャコウ、甲斐拓也、俺は貴様を倒す。そして永遠の命を得て、唯一絶対の存在になって、この島を出てくのは一人だけ。俺だ。俺が生み出したお前を倒す。そして全ての戦いにピリオドを打つ。他の誰でもない、この俺自身の手で。それはどうかな。ジャコウ、まだ俺は死なん。貴様を倒すまで、俺が俺になるまで。やった。これで俺は貴様に、いや俺自身になれる。勝ったんだ。
I think that was basically he thought he won, but Bluebeard like played dead to land maybe a fatal strike. I don't know, but like he thought he won, and then. Yeah.
我が名はブラックビート。変身モード。
And now we're back to the Henshin mode. So that's everything for the Black Commander. Now, if I had to guess, if Shadowborg had a transformation, his body would go like Shadow Bond or Shadow Blast, something like that. I'm just kind of making things up, but like, whether you pick either good or evil, pick one of these up, because they're fun toys. If you're a fan of Beetleborgs, a fan of B-Fighter, how have you not already picked one of these up? Like, I think I prefer this one because it's not beeping at me when it's just resting. Although this one, like, is right there a bit more because this didn't exist. I didn't know about this when I was a kid. But either of them, pick one, either one. I wish they made one for the White Blaster. Like, he had a unique attachment. Make one for him. Make it, I don't know. Just do it. Yeah. But that's not all. Because you may be wondering, yes, it is a gun in my pocket, and I am happy to see you. So, this is what else was in the box. This is the jamming Magnum. So, bee fighters and Beetleborgs had a side weapon besides all their other weapons. You know, like one of the things that seems to be a prerequisite of a metal hero is having a blaster, like a laser blaster. Sometimes it's a sword. Like for the space sheriffs, it was a sword. For most of them, it's like a blaster. And so the Beetleborgs have what was known in Japan as the input Magnum. But oh my gosh, the ridiculous level of sensory when it made its way to Beetleborg. I just have to show you a picture. How did they think that would censor anything? It's still a gun. I know 4Kids ship is a real thing, 4Kids censoring, but like, geez. That means, however, Blackbeat had his own version. And I did not get the input Magnum. They released it originally. I could still pick one up. I probably might pick one up at some point. But they did not release the Black Commander without the jamming Magnum. Yet. I have not seen it released that way yet. Now, did they name it Jamming Magnum because it jams things with strawberry jam? Was that a bad Spaceballs reference? Yes, it was. Are you excited for The Search for More Money? I hope it's called The Search for More Money. Unless they name it like The Search for More Money. And then the third one is The Search for More Money. But this might be my favorite toy handgun I own. I play with it honestly every day. Mostly because it kind of, I might be stretching, it kind of feels close to like an actual realistic handgun. More than anything, it feels like something like RoboCop would have. Like a modified handgun to do whatever he needs it to do. This kind of feels like that. So how you, let's say, turn it on is you remove this piece, and there's an on switch here. Turn it off, turn it back on. There's a red LED right there. But then to get to the batteries, you have to open this by not just pushing down, but like pushing down and sliding the panel. So like you have to push it and slide. And I just shot something. But it's more difficult than I think it needs to be. And I'm not gonna, it takes 3 AAA batteries. I do have one structural issue. Look at how thin those are. And look where they have to go and the angle it has to go in. That does not seem like it'll last long to me. But I also just really enjoy the design of this gun. Being the dark version, instead of having like numbers on the pad, it has whatever language this is. I don't know. Feel free to translate somebody, but just playing with it, it feels good in my hand, like one-handed. It's not quite a two-handed gun. I'm holding the bottom like this, but it's fun to play with in one hand. You have this piece, which we'll get into in a second, but it's a slider, not dissimilar to sliders on a real gun, where you could look at the ammo, how much you have, and you can just check the inner workings of the gun. It took me so long to realize the speakers are right here. It wasn't until I put my hand over it and it was muffled, I'm like, wait, that's the speaker? And you have the barrel, which I'm not going to point. I think the barrel does a really cool thing, because you see a purple light. It's not actually a purple LED. It's a red and a blue LED in here that when it gets to there, because you can almost see the red and blue. Let me zoom in on. Might be hard with the, but yeah. Freaking red and blue, which is really cool. Yeah, I can look and I see the blue and the red strands, and then they come together to make the purple light, which is how light works. Neat! So this is the default gun firing sound in this mode, because we do have two modes, and you can hold it down to get a rapid fire, but you can also press it faster than that to get a more rapid. I don't see the point of the holding it down if you can just click it faster. Also, it actually takes a tiny amount of pressure to fire it, much like a real gun, so I really appreciate that you actually have to push some weight down on it. And now, obviously we have a pad, so we have sound effects. Now there are 9 pads, 9 numbers, that were numbers, so each of them has a different sound effect. Actually there are 10, because this is the enter, but yeah, you get it, and you have 1 to 9, what would have been 1 to 9, but you press it, enter, and you have voice clips from Black Beat. So if you press it twice, you get, and there are no combinations I have found or are listed in the instructions to do unique things. So just go through all of them quickly. No, damn it. Jujutsu? 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 I heard jujutsu. This is where you die, Blue Beat. Blue Beat is my enemy, so transform again so we can fight. Basically was the equivalent of. I already told you. Humans won't get in the way. What the? Yeah, that's the same one. Take this! And then the last one is like a... I can see like a gun didn't go off. It didn't fire. I'm trying to think of good skits where I'm like, it didn't go off, boom, kind of thing. But We also have, in this mode, 3 or 4 other bullet sounds. So pull to activate, you're switching between them. And this is a really fun motion, just to figure out all the ways I can do it. Like, remember the Bokengers or Operation Overdrive's their Morpher, where they would like spin it against random stuff, like spin it against enemies, spin it on other, like that's the kind of feeling I get doing that. So that's 3, 4, and we're back. So we got 4 sounds in this mode. We can also pull it and hold, and we have a different mode, which means we get 9 new sound effects. And probably my favorite gunfire sound, because that actually sounds like a bullet being fired. But let's go through them quickly. No kori wa ippiki. I don't know what that means, but I think in this mode we have 5. You have to pull it 5 times to get back. So. So, you and the Earth are already done for, basically. Stop. Yeah. Yeah, basically. You and the Earth are already done for. Oh no! Damn you! That sounds like an insect's wings. Stinger beat! Koi. I will send you to hell with my own hands! Your enemy is me! And now we're back to... just some grunting. Yeah. And the same sound for... yeah. So... it also comes with a stand, or I guess you could say stands? No JoJo's. But yeah, I think what it wants you to do is this piece goes here, and this piece cups here. At least that's what I think. Because there's no real other, like it holds it like this as well. And that doesn't really feel like it fits anywhere else besides right there. And there is actually some die-cast metal in this. Like this part is cold. Like if you know the cold touch technique, I'm sure most of the gun metal is like gray is probably metal. Like there are pieces of it that are actually metal. And yeah, I think this is supposed to cup either this way or this way. It doesn't make sense to do it this way if it's all the way, like pointed down like this. Like that's not balanced. But this way, yeah, I'm pretty sure is what you're supposed to do. Size comparison. Here's a Megatron that turns into a gun. This thing isn't the easiest to spin. Like, from doing it from dead set, it's got like no momentum. So like I end up having to like flick and then like I have to give it momentum to get it going. But once it gets going, I just have to figure out where to stop it. Here's a Nerf gun that kind of feels like a Magnum. And here's a Gashikon Magnum.
Jyukou Magnum!
They're both Magnums, but this one also has a rifle mode. So it's a really small version of Magnum versus like a closer to 1-to-1 scale Magnum. So yeah. This makes the set, like, makes up more value of the set, I find, than the Black Commander. Because I find myself playing with this way more than I do with the Black Commander. Like, Black Commander, like, I'll play with it once or twice, and then I'll just keep playing with this. Like, I'll just keep spinning it, I'll put it in my pocket to feel like, you know, I'm a concealed carry. That's illegal in Canada, if I'm not mistaken. Don't tell the cops. Don't rat me out. But yeah, you kind of, yeah, you have to get the set together. But I think the Black Commander and Jamming Magnum, the Jamming Magnum is probably worth more than the Black Commander, and I want to get the Input Magnum just to see what and hear what the different sound effects are, because I picture this with bright silver paint. I'm like, oh, I get a special feeling somewhere. Yeehaw. So, thanks for watching this mini trek through Beetleborgs. I don't know if I'll get the data bonder, the metallics transformation device. I don't remember what it was called in B-Fighter Kabuto, because I thought they didn't release that. In my head, I'm like, well, if they make a data bonder, I don't know if I'm going to buy it, but like, one quick search, they've already made one. And I believe it comes with the parts for all the other, like, additional heroes, if I'm not mistaken. Or that might be an add-on set, I'm not sure, but like, this is a fun set. Evil is always fun. And I'm going to play with this thing for a long time. I don't see myself getting tired of this anytime soon. Oh, I gotta figure out some sketches, because I know there's sketch potential in this, either this or the Bonder, but I gotta figure it out. Until then, keep it weird. Bye. Hit that like and subscribe. Threatening. I'm not threatening. This isn't threatening.